This is ABC 15 News at 6.
Hey everybody, we're glad you're with us today. As Hurricane Irma starts its destructive path in Florida, we have team coverage to keep you informed every step of the way.
Yeah, our first warning weather team is tracking the storm and will update you on any impacts to our area.
And we'll show you the destruction it's causing right now.
Well, first, let's get right over to the most trusted meteorologist in our area. That's Ed Piotrowski to give us a look at where Irma is right now. Ed.
All right, I'll show you that in just a second. First of all, let's go over watches and warnings. And there are none up for our area right now, but south of Georgetown on the South Santee River all the way down through Charleston and Savannah, we do have a tropical storm warning in effect there. I do not anticipate that warning being issued northward, although we could see a few tropical storm force winds, which are 40 miles per hour higher, as we head through the day on Monday. Right now, there is Hurricane Irma. Interaction with Cuba weakened it slightly. Winds are down to 125 miles per hour, but now clearly the eye is back over the water. That's very warm water, and strengthening is likely as we head through tonight and during the daytime tomorrow. Right now, Irma's moving to the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. The heaviest of the rain still far away. The winds are already gusting over 60 right now in Marathon and the Florida Keys. Key West at 48. Right on the south side of Miami, we've got wind gust up near 40 at Tamiami Airport. And, of course, that wind's only going to get higher as we head through the next 24 hours. All right, here's the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. Likely raking through the Keys late tonight and early tomorrow morning, and then perhaps a Category 4 hurricane making landfall somewhere between Fort Myers and Tampa as we head through Sunday afternoon. By Monday, around 2 p.m. in the southwestern parts of Georgia, heading back to the north and west. And even though Irma is going to be 300 miles away from us, we are still going to see some impacts here. That gives you an idea of just how big this hurricane is. Here's the bottom line, an overview. 1 to 3 inches of rain for most areas, especially across the southern parts of our viewing area, perhaps even up to 4 inches from Kingstree over to Georgetown. Gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour will be quite frequent. We could have a few gusts up near 45. A brief tornado is not out of the question late Sunday night through Monday and Monday night. And big coastal impacts, the storm surge at 2 to 3 feet. That's a couple of feet lower than what we had with Hurricane Matthew. Coastal flooding will be likely, especially at high tide tomorrow and again as we head through the daytime on Monday. Specific numbers for your hometown coming up a little later.
All right, well, as you just heard, Hurricane Irma is on the move right now, and the entire southern tip of Florida and the west coast of Florida preparing for the brunt of the storm.
Yeah, our team coverage continues right now with Brad Bell in Tampa, Florida.
So we've moved our team from ABC 7 News, News Channel 8, tracking Irma. We've come from the East Coast, from Delray Beach, Florida, over now to the West Coast, and we've arrived in Tampa. And what we're looking at now is an area that is being referred to as Flood Zone A. This is a high danger area as Irma approaches. And look, you can see why. These houses right on these canals, they have their boats. They love this waterfront lifestyle, but it comes at a risk, and now the time for that risk has apparently arrived. The fear is that Irma, as it comes up nearer to this area, that it'll drive a storm surge up. Could be 5 to 10 feet of storm surge. Well, that high above where the water is now, look where it brings it, here. Water could be this deep in this yard. It's not going to stay in the yard. It's going to get into this house. Now, the man that's here is getting ready to leave. He's under orders to leave. He's taking care of his belongings. He's putting up plywood. Doesn't want to talk to us on camera. He is obeying that order to leave. He really says he has no choice. How bad is this? Well, he has lived in this house for 30 years. And he says it's never been as bad as it is forecast to be now. So we're going to be in Tampa. We'll be here later on tonight, bring you live reports. The storm is expected to hit this area late Sunday night now into Monday morning. In Tampa, Brad Bell, News Channel 8.
All right, and again, that was Brad Bell. Now, Irma may not be hitting us directly here on the Grand Strand, but some business owners say the storm is still taking a blow to their registers. Irma comes at an already slow time for businesses along the Grand Strand. It's the week after Labor Day when everyone from up north goes back to school. But now as Irma looks to move away from the Grand Strand, that means better news for some businesses here. Despite people leaving the area the last couple days, some restaurant owners along Ocean Boulevard say business has actually picked up this week.
I think it has to do with a lot of the people from further south in Florida and Georgia are making their way up north, and they're kind of coming here for safety because obviously the storm's going to break down a little bit as it comes further north. So, you know, I think a lot of people think that they'll be safer here than they would be in Miami or wherever they came from.
Well, leaders with the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce say they are working with local businesses to help protect them from any economic impacts from Irma.
Well, one thing Hurricane Irma is bringing to the Grand Strand, rough waters. ABC 15's Madeline Montgomery is live on Surfside Beach tonight. She talked to Myrtle Beach Fire's Ocean Rescue about why you need to avoid the ocean for the next few days. Madeline?
Well, everybody I talked to on the beach today is definitely happy that we missed Irma, but they said they're still seeing her effects here at Surfside Beach. A day expected to be spent evacuating turned into a day of bumming it on the beach. But nice weather doesn't mean nice waters.
We are at a double red flag today because the currents are very strong. We've seen a lot of effects from the hurricane, even though it's not close to the shore. We're still getting some of those the wind effects from the storm coming through.
Those effects obvious to anyone who did venture into the ocean today.
It's a little bit strong. I wouldn't recommend going out too far. We went out a little bit of ways there. It's pretty strong.
Well, the rip current started getting pretty bad. The ocean started tearing up a little bit.
Jonathan Evans of Myrtle Beach Fire's Ocean Rescue Team saw a fair share of people trying to tough out the waves.
Not trying to get them in trouble, but just trying to keep everybody safe, especially small kids who don't realize how dangerous it can be, how quickly they can be swept out.
You can still dip your toes in the water, but Lieutenant Evans says it's best to stay on the sand for the next few days.
Trying to keep people out of the water, not past their ankles, and probably that way for the next couple of days because there are some possibilities for some strong rip currents.
We do have updated beach and ocean forecasts on our website, WPDE.com, under the weather section. Live in Surfside Beach, Madeline Montgomery, ABC 15 News.
All right, thanks so much, Madeline. Just a reminder, double red flags mean you can't go in the water. A single red flag means there may be strong currents or high surf. A yellow flag means there could be moderately high surf or moderately strong currents. And a green flag means the water is calm.
And you know what? This is something the governor had warned us yesterday for hundreds of thousands of people evacuating from Florida, many coming here to South Carolina to escape before Irma gets there. ABC 15's Rosalia Federa is live in Florence at a rest stop. Now, Rose, you met folks traveling through the PD today, right?
I did meet some folks. Some of them said that it took them 13 hours to get here from Florida, while others said it only took them a few, maybe 6 or 7, and traffic wasn't that bad. You can see I-95 over my shoulder right now. It's been moving since we've been here, but I can tell you there are a lot of Florida license plates driving through Florence right now, whether they're stopping for coffee, getting gas, or staying the night. A little bit earlier, I was at Dunkin' Donuts in Florence, and that's where I met Michael Kaufman. He was stopping to get coffee. Michael evacuated his home in Boca Raton. He was on his way to New York to stay with his daughter. His wife, her parents, and him packed their Volvo with important documents and only some clothes. He says they left Florida as fast as they could yesterday afternoon. He says his daughter said to him, one of the things his daughter said to him was to give her a copy of his will, and that's what made him realize they need to leave. But they're trying to make the best out of it. They rode out other hurricanes in Florida, but this one, he says, was different.
They said it was going to be a Category 4 or 5, which is a killer storm, which has the capability of probably knocking down houses and structures, leaving us with no power for weeks on end. And we said, this is the time to leave. Do something smart. And since I'm retired now, we made this into a mini adventure.
He says he plans to stay in New York for about a week, and he's worried about going back to no power, but he's confident his home will be standing when he gets back there. Live for now in Florence, Rosalia Federa, ABC 15 News.
Rose, thank you so much. Now, the governor says Interstate 95 could get congested, but as of this afternoon, around 2 o'clock for that press conference he held, he said traffic was moving across the state.
Well, our friends at Georgetown County still aren't taking any chances with the storm, and leaders will be the first to admit they're not out of the woods yet. ABC 15's Nick Papatonis is live on Front Street to show us how they're preparing. Nick?
You see these sandbags behind me, right back in the stores over there? They're to keep this storm from costing hundreds of thousands of dollars to Georgetown's business district. Emergency management leaders here say they've relaxed quite a bit. You can see a nearly empty emergency operations center here. It was full a few days ago when Irma was forecasted to come to this area, but officials are still taking precautions, like giving away sand to people who want it.
These storms can always surprise us. We had some surprises with Hurricane Matthew last time. There is still time for some minor changes to the track that could change the impacts that we see. So we're kind of just waiting right now to see what happens.
Georgetown County leaders say everything that needs to be in place for a major storm is ready. So if Irma's forecast was to suddenly change, I'm told everyone is on standby and can be at the operations center almost instantly. And coming up at 6:30, I'll show you how much damage this storm could cost a business here in the business district. Live in Georgetown, Nick Papantonis, ABC 15 News.
All right, thanks so much, Nick. And this just in, there will be no school for students and staff in Georgetown County Monday and Tuesday. All 240 day employees should report to work on Tuesday on a 2-hour delay, conditions permitting. The district will return to its regular schedule Wednesday.
Evacuating Edisto. Tonight we're taking you to the island. It's a popular weekend getaway for many of you. We're giving you one last look before Irma hits.
And if Edisto evacuees, along with many others out there, are headed our way, they'll need some money and they'll need a place to stay. We'll show you the discounts local businesses are offering folks fleeing the storm.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to it and talk all about Hurricane Irma. And Irma is behaving exactly the way we thought Irma would behave. It's basically due south of Florida right now. The turn will be occurring as we head through tonight. And, of course, Irma's going to track up the west coast of Florida as we head through the daytime tomorrow. Let's take a look at Futurecast and show you where the heaviest of the rains will be as we head through the next couple of days. And for the most part, we're dry tomorrow. All the action is down to the south. There's the eye of Irma, very close to Key West, Florida, as we head through tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It continues moving north-northwest through Fort Myers, approaching Tampa as we head through the latter part of Sunday afternoon and during the evening hours. It continues up the west coast of Florida, then bends back to the north and west here over northern Florida as we head through early on Monday morning. Right. For us, we'll have a few showers around, but most of the action is well down to the south and west of us. As Irma continues back to the north and west, we'll start to see more moisture moving our way, showers moving in from south to north from late morning and into the afternoon. The heaviest of the rain around here will likely be late afternoon and into the evening hours. Some of those downpours will be quite heavy. They'll continue on and off right on through midnight. And then after midnight, a lot of this rain begins to lift to the north, and by 8 o'clock in the morning, most areas are dry with just some showers remaining up on the border belt. So how much rain? First and foremost, absolutely positively nothing at all like Hurricane Matthew. Roughly speaking, 1 to 3 inches of rain across the PD and on the border belt and on the Grand Strand. Lower amounts the farther north you go, a little bit higher farther south. It wouldn't surprise me from Manning to Kingstree and over to Georgetown to see up to 4 inches of rain. In terms of impacts, once again, nothing at all like Hurricane Matthew. With some of the heavy downpours, ponding of the water on the roadways is likely, typical flooding of low-lying and poor drainage areas, and some rivers will rise into minor flood stage. They will not get anywhere near as high as what we had during Hurricane Matthew. I know a lot of you were worried about that because some of the rivers are high already, but don't worry about it. They're not going to get much higher at all, only into minor flood stage here over the next week. Now, in terms of winds, tomorrow, it's going to be pretty windy out there, but it really is not directly related to Hurricane Irma. You have high pressure over New England. You have low pressure to the south. The difference in that pressure will create a stiff northerly wind. Winds gusting at times at 25 as we head through Sunday morning. That's going to be the case into the afternoon hours as well. With Irma getting closer to us on Monday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, winds will be gusting at times well into the 30s. The peak wind gust will likely be later in the afternoon and during the early evening hours. Very possible there will be isolated wind gust up near 45 miles per hour. That will continue right on through the evening hours. And then after midnight, up through 2 o'clock in the morning, winds gusting in the 20s and 30s, and then falling off to 10 to 15 as we head through Tuesday morning. In terms of wind impacts, peak gust near 45, that's nothing at all like Hurricane Matthew's wind gust up over 70. Some tree limbs could come down, and a few weak trees as well, but not very many, and there could be isolated power outages. In terms of the tornado threat, Sunday night, a small risk of that over Horry and Georgetown counties. Then on Monday, everybody with a small risk of a brief tornado. We'll keep a close eye on the radar. Obviously, there will be pretty big impacts for coastal regions. The storm surge 1 to 3 feet. That's several feet lower than what we had with Hurricane Matthew. But do keep in mind, with a persistent onshore flow, there will be minor coastal flooding, especially around the times of high tides on Sunday and especially on Monday. Of course, the waves emanating from Irma will create big waves and rough surfs, and that, of course, is going to lead to minor beach erosion in our area. So overall, we have very high confidence in the track of Hurricane Irma. And the best news of all is the impacts around here, for the most part, are pretty minor. Now, a lot of you have been asking about Hurricane Jose and where Jose may eventually go. Joining us now is Kevin Jacobs to tell us about that.
That's right, Ed. We have Hurricane Jose that's trying to follow in the footsteps of Hurricane Irma, but this one's not likely to impact the U.S. at all. It is, however, a Category 4 hurricane, and there's a closer look at it right now. And you can see this storm is just north of Anguilla right now in the Atlantic, and it has sustained winds of 148 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest track with this one, and you can see that it's going to turn back out to sea. However, it's going to perhaps stay out there and kind of spin out there for about another week or so. But like I said, it has no indication of moving towards the U.S. And this is the latest track right now as of 5 p.m. We also have the remnants of what was once Hurricane Katia. This is over Mexico right now. This one is not going anywhere fast. You can see it quickly has fallen apart. Let's go ahead and look at your 7-day forecast. As we go into our Sunday, we'll start off dry as well. Sunny skies, a little windy into the afternoon, but we will, however, look for those rain chances to pick up as we go into Monday. Monday is the day to focus on with the most weather impacts around here. And then again, we'll quickly dry out and see improving conditions by the middle part of the week. And here's a look at your inland 7-day forecast. Once again, the bulk of the rainfall on Monday, and as we go into Tuesday, we'll dry out. By Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, only isolated chances of rainfall, and those temperatures are going to gradually warm back up as we head into the next weekend. Summer?
Well, coming up, a follow-up to that officer-involved shooting in Myrtle Beach. Find out what happened to the man who was shot after police say he almost ran over a security guard and hit a police officer.